What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Vishak here, and welcome to another episode of Lean Addict. And in this episode, I want to talk about what you should be looking for in a fat loss program. So, before you start off with any of these kind of programs, there are three things that I want you to keep it in your mind, okay? Number one is your mindset. Your mindset is everything, and everything begins with your mind. By that I mean you have to make few changes in your thought patterns, the way you look at your day, the way you're going to spend your time, the way you're going to invest your time. There is a like major difference and distinctions between these concepts. So first thing is first, I want to take a look at your lifestyle from a different angle, from a different lens. By that I mean you need to start saying no to things. You need to start saying no to people. Major planning will have to do. You have to go through certain, you have to make some to-do list and all that. Okay, so let me just break it down for you. First thing, what I want you to do is I want you to just get a perspective towards things. Okay, I want you to start prioritizing what is important for you, what is not important for you. Most people fail because they don't have a clear distinction between their priorities. Okay, they just take everything that life throws at them, and that's the way they basically operate their life. And that's not the way to look at it, because if you just start taking everything as it comes, probably only the dead fish go with the flow, right? Let's just go with the flow. And that is pretty much what I've been listening to from everyone. But rather than that going with the flow, start taking the flow within your hands so that you will be able to go in a perfect flow that you have designed it. Okay, so my mentor have always told me that there are two kinds of people. One is they spend their day by default. Whatever comes in their way, they just do it. Second category of people, they design their own day. They know how they're going to invest their time. Okay, so it is pretty much on a very holistic level. You need to start prioritizing things, what is important for you and what is not important for you. But there are certain amendments, there are certain changes that you might have to make. Like you might have to say no to few things, and even for few people. Few things as in the things that is weighing you down in your life are the things that you don't require to move up. So just say no to it. I know it is going to be a little hard because you've been processing that for a while, but if it doesn't do you any good, just forget about it. Okay, those are the things. Now number two is that say no to few people. I believe that it is good to have mentors rather than friends. I mean, friends are good, but mentors are better. So I believe in this theory. Your success and your failure is purely determined by the 95% of the people that you associate with on a regular basis. Your colleagues, your friends, your family, your anybody. Okay, so make sure that you choose people who is going to push you on a regular basis. I mean, be the weakest link in the chain. You might run a little slow, but your times will be better eventually while you're constantly striving for improvement. If you're going to be with 5 or 6 friends where everybody's fat, there are a high chance of you to be fat too. You see what I'm saying? So anything that is not leveling you up, I think it's time to say no. I think it's time to let go. The next one is the planning. Planning has a very clear control over your time. Planning is nothing but having a clear control over your time. Okay, productive or busy, what do you choose? Right, it's all about understanding the distinction, differentiating between the things, your activities, which is good for you, which is bad for you. So there are like two kinds of things that your brain is predominantly driven, right? The number one is the instant gratification, the things that you basically do when you feel like looking into the social media, eating a piece of dessert, lying down and watching TV for a while. You know what I mean? All these are like, it just gives you a sudden dopamine. That's like an instant dopamine rush, right? So it just gives you a feel-good chemical. It's just nothing but you're feeling good for a certain period of time, right? But at the same time, when you're actually building something, when you're actually going in pursuit of something, let's say that you are constantly running every day, you're working out, you're doing 10 push-ups every day, you know what I mean? So all these things, it might not give you the dopamine rush for that minute, and mostly it'll be looking like a little hard for you to do it at that point, but eventually when you see in the long run, it just gives you a benefit. Okay, that's called as a delayed gratification. So there are differences. So what I'm really trying to say is start planning and start prioritizing the things that is going to give you the delayed gratification. If anything is going to give you the delayed gratification, chances are highly likely for it to be doing you really good in your life. Okay, So that is the first thing. So I want you to get your mindset right. Again, remember, mindset is everything, and everything begins with your mind. Okay. Moving on to the next one, the diet. People talk about diet. Now, I'll tell you something. The moment you start saying diet, that is the moment where your brain will start craving for more food. The moment you start saying no to certain things, that is the time when your brain will start asking for it more. Okay, the fastest way to go fat is to go onto a diet. So when people give you the diet chart, morning, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, evening snack, you know what I mean? If they're going to prescribe you some kind of food like it is a medicine or something like that, just stay away from that. Okay, you will fail, and you will fail hard. So that's the first thing that people do. Just start looking at this whole thing as a diet chart. And if with this diet chart, if you think that particular diet chart is going to solve the fat problem, I don't think so. Because I mean, that's not the way that how you're designed to, because you have responsibilities, you have your own life to take care of, and at that point you will not be able to pay so much of close attention. And then of course you can do a little bit of planning, but my question is like, how long are you able to go with that one? Can you do that for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? So this is where most people fail, because they start looking at these things very in a very short-term basis. They'll be like, I want to go on a diet for the next 3 months. From my New Year resolution is like lose some weight. That's a very vague answer, right? So what I'm trying to say is you need to start looking at things with precision, but at the same time, I have also told this on other videos. Always try looking for a sustainability factor. That is one single key that is going to take you a long way. Okay, so always look for sustainability, which you can adapt in a certain type of lifestyle that you can keep it up for the rest of your life. Okay, not 3 months, 6 months and all that. If you're going to say 3 months, 6 months, which most of the people profess, my question is, what are you going to do after 3 months? Are you going to come back? Let me tell you something. If you do what fat people do, you're going to be fat. You cannot expect you to be lean when your actions are what fat people do. So don't fall into that category. Okay, what I want you to do is just start looking at your food as nutrients. When you start approaching your food like that, you will have much better relationship with your food. It is very simple. Let's not complicate it. I mean, the way that people are talking about it, the way the fitness industry is talking about it, with the way that everybody else is talking about it, it's like super complicated. It's not complicated. It's not a rocket science. I keep telling it all the time to my clients, to my students in my academy. I tell them this is not a rocket science. It's your body science. You can learn it, and then you can adapt it, and you will achieve the result regardless of what. So start approaching like that. Start approaching eggs as protein and fats. Start approaching rice as carbohydrates. You know what I mean? It's just that you're looking at the food from a different lens. This is the nutrients that this particular food contains, and this is what the impact that is going to make onto my body. So what I would do is I would eat so much. You know what I mean? You would start quantifying it. You would be having a very quantifiable consumption. And that is the best way to approach it. And I've been doing this. So I never died and I never put on weight. I mean, the only way that I have to do is like start looking at a food in these terms. So it just gives you a better edge for you to not go on to like a hardcore diet, but instead, you can just understand these things and you'll be like, you know what, I'm good. So even if you go to the restaurant, you don't have to carry your diet chart. And in case if you run out of the food, you don't have to give a call to your nutritionist and ask, what am I supposed to eat now? You know what I mean? So get a better perspective when it comes to your approach towards your food. Okay, that's number 2. Break your diet. Number 3 is what exactly you should be looking for when you're being physically active. If somebody's going to give you an exercise program, if you download, this is what most people do, right? If you download a workout program from Google, I mean, obviously you're not going to reach far, because you really need to know what your body type is, what your capacity is, and when you need to start. So there's a lot of aspect which is going by. Okay, you need a lot of self-evaluation, self-assessment. Where do you need to start from? It's not just going for a walk and losing 30 kilos in 3 days. Things doesn't work that way. If that was easy, if it was that easy, everybody would be fit in the world. See what I'm saying? So I want you to, just start designing your workout program. Designing as in don't put too much of things in your head. This is what I teach my students is like start having approaches. So anytime when you start a program, those it should have four basic elements. Number one is getting you lean. Lean is nothing but building up a little bit of muscle, the lean muscle, and this is for you too, ladies. Don't be scared of it. Muscles are good, and the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. The more muscle you have, more calories you burn. Okay, your body is looking at the muscle as a liability and fat as an asset. So you need to start make sure that you are in a place where when you walk, when you sit, when you run, when you lie down, when you're sleeping, anytime, you're constantly burning off the calories. You're constantly burning off the fat. Okay, start looking at it that way, and then everything becomes so easy. And the next thing that I want to talk about is your exercise. So we are humans and we are supposed to move. We are built to move, not just stay on the couch. Okay, the moment you start staying on the couch, that means, like 80% of our time, we are on the bed. We are idle. We are sitting, right? Be it your work, be it your TV, be it you're sleeping, and of course you're commuting too. So all of this is going to put you in a very idealistic position where you're not pretty much moving at all. Okay, very less calories being burnt. Your body is a direct reflection of your lifestyle. Okay, so how active you are, and that's how you look, and it's as simple as that. Okay, and also I would like to add something to that statement. When somebody is actually looking skinny and that particular person is still immobile, that doesn't mean that they are healthy. What you really need to assess your health is only by the fat percentage. By fat percentage, there is something called as a DEXA scan, which you can go and test it out for yourself. And if you're a man, if you're a male, you have to be somewhere in the range of 12 to 15% of fat. Okay. And if you're a woman, you have to be somewhere within 22 to 24% of fat, and not beyond that. And if you're beyond that, it's considered as obese. 26, 27, forget about it. It's considered as obese. So when it comes to exercise, what you should predominantly be looking for is getting lean, building on the muscles and burning up the fat, flexibility, and strength. Strength comes when you build up the muscle. When you build up the muscle, strength. Both of these things goes hand in hand. Okay, so that's the best way to approach this whole idea. So these are the things that you should essentially be looking for when you are going for a fat loss journey. Now, I hope you found some value in this. Now, which concept do you think that you have difficulty in harnessing? Share in the comment box and I'd like to know. So I'm going to be signing off right now, and thank you for watching this video until the end. If you want to be a part of this community, I'd like you to visit this website, vishakfit.com/challenge, and watch my video to understand what does it take to get in the best shape of your life. I'm going to be signing off. I will see you on the next episode. Cheers and God bless. Stay hard and kill it. Bye-bye.